Hi, my name is Ron Layman. I'm from the Faux School in Frederick, Maryland, where I teach decorative painting workshops and complete commission projects for clients all around the world. If you're interested in classes or commissioning me, you can find all the information you're looking for in the description area below this video. Today, I'm going to show you a technique using Bernini's Palladino. It's a line-based plaster to create this fun stone accent wall finish. So let's get our tools, let's get our materials, and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I've done to get ready for today's technique is I've primed the MDF, medium density fiberboard, with 2 coats of Zinsser 123 acrylic primer. I use it on all the projects where priming is required because I feel it's the best for what I do. After I put 2 coats on using a 1/2-inch nap roller, I just sanded it lightly, and then I applied 2 coats of the quartz primer. Quartz primer is a proprietary mineral-based primer for all the Bernini line products. Interior exterior tints with pigment if you want. I'm just going to put on white. Are going to be the Pavon 824 finishing trowel and a 2-inch spatula. You've heard me speak about Pavon. I love the products. I like the people, love the people. They're all been very nice to me when I get them on the phone and ask questions. And yeah, I think your tools are the best and they know they're the best. Okay. Okay, today we're going to be using Palladino by Bernini. Palladino is an interior exterior lime-based product. I've tinted it to this nice warm umber color. Remember, lime dries lighter. This is not what we're going to get. It's going to dry much lighter, so don't freak out about the color. Not that you would. But Palladino. If you've worked with our Marmarino and Travertino, Marmarino would be here on, we have 400 micron aggregate in that. Travertino is, like 700. So Palladino falls right in the middle. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is apply a base. And we're just going to take the Palladino, scoop some out of the pail, and put it on the trowel, like so. All right, but I'm going to get some more. This is my bed coat for me to work off of. So I just want to get it on there. And it's okay to have movement. This is a heavy finish. You just don't want like heavy, you don't want a lot of trowel marks. There's no need for it. It's heavy. You can see the chatter marks coming. It's all right. We'll get rid of them. If I was at somebody's home, there shouldn't be any drippage because there's no lip to be flying off of. So that's all that is. A little more. Let's just clean it up a little bit. Not to thin out a whole lot, because it's going to be buried. The only piece of this. Let's put this away so we don't fling it all over creation because you talk with your hands. So some of this is going to poke through, but we want it to look not smooth. We don't, we don't want it floppy in any way, shape, or form. We need to have some nice visual interest first. So what does poke through, really look. That's it. Okay, we're going to let this dry 100%, come back, and carry on. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, real quick, as you see the Palladino drying down, there's that difference I always talk about, wet color versus dry color. So this is 100% dry rate in here. And look. Okay, always make dry samples. See you in a little bit. Okay, so the Palladino is dry. Now I know you're saying, but it's not. I see discoloration in it because I was ahead of myself in the process and I did the next step and I had to reshoot this part of the video. So that's why there's moisture. But look, if I touch it, nothing moves. That's what we want. But what I do on this step, I'm just going to hydrate it because it helps create a mechanical bond. It reactivates some of the materials here. Won't make it loose or slurry or anything, but it helps to create a mechanical bond. So this time I've tinted the Palladino to this kind of a gunmetal gray. Remember, it's going to dry much lighter. Okay, so I'm going to do a skip trowel technique sort of now, where I'm going to put the material on like so. And I'm just going to start putting it on. And that'll change every so often. I might do something slightly different. Maybe get some bigger pockets. And then we're just going to push it around in various directions. I don't want a lot of face coverage showing. You'll see why in a little while. I'm creating islands, so to speak, for the next part of the process. Let's see how this all breaks up in these little pieces. We don't want pockets of just beige. Taupe, for like, because nobody likes beige. We call it taupe. And honestly, this doesn't have to be super flat. This could have movement in it. You're not going to hurt anything. So I want some. Let's go put the trough flat, create some suction. Watch it. Just move it. Push it. Don't try to lift it. Just push it. See what you get. All that cool, fun stuff. I'm in the corner. There's no other way. You just put it in the corner, like so, and pull in. Go up with it, come down with it, out with it. This is sort of the base for the next part that's coming along. In fact, you don't want this too slick up here, any of this, because what's going to help hold it right to give it even more interest. And what I like to do, see, like there's not much hanging out here in the little gray area. The gray is not hanging out over top of that taupey area. Let's use a flat trowel wash to just kind of redistribute. Let some of it get caught here and there. So it's not so sterile in these islands of taupe. All right, time for this to dry. Okay, so the Palladino is starting to dry, but what I want to do is knock down the high stuff for the moment. Remember, this is another base for what's about to come. So we don't want, for this particular finish, I don't want these little high ridges poking through. I could wait till it's almost dry in that humid state, come back and trowel it with a trowel, but I stand a good chance of really putting some scratch marks on my trowel. I'm not a fan of that. So what I'm gonna do is take this magical little guy, water, mist, and ever so softly, just come right across. And I knock all the high stuff down. Various directions, just like so. Oh. And I don't have to wait for it to dry. And be worried, did I just miss my window of opportunity to knock down the high spots? Because that can happen based on temperature and humidity. I'm not trying to get it super flat, just a little bit. As soon as you're done, clean it off. Don't let this stuff get hard on here. It's very hard to get off. All right, now we're gonna let this dry 100%. We'll come back and see after it dries. Okay, our Palladino has dried the second layer. Real quick before we move on, I know there's some moisture here and there, but it's dry. I'm gonna take the sponge and knock off any of my little particulates that aren't truly in contact. Just like you gotta dust it off. I know my diehard plaster friends are like, you never. Well, we have to in this case. So I want to clean it really well. If I was on a project, I'd be using my Festool machine and just capture all that dust. I shouldn't be doing it here, I know. Okay, next step, hydration. Create that mechanical bond through the chemical process. Okay, we're going to go back to, oh, it's on my hand. We're going to take our charcoal color with Palladino. And this is going to be fun because now we're putting on super thick. We don't want to cover these base color island colors, pockets, but we can cover some of it. But look how thick it's going. Gnarly. But you already saw what it looks like when it's dry. So it's okay to leave some of that under there. Under there, the base color sort of exposed from the prior color gray. I did a job, I guess it was 2 years ago at this point. One room, not even a whole room. I kept saying thicker, thicker, thicker. 85 gallons of product. It was thick. Those walls definitely aren't going to fall down. I mean, that's not, look how heavy this is. Look at all this stuff happening. All right, I'll be right back because I need more plaster. All right, I mixed up some more material, so let's continue on. Down here a little dry. Give you an idea, to mix that up took about 15 minutes. This is still soaking wet up here, all right? Heavy. It's wild. It has such a soft feel to it when you finish the room. It's so heavy. It's just really fun. I mean, there's a lot of material here. Look at it. That's what makes it fun. There'll be so much going on here in a few minutes. It's crazy. Oh, big blob. Cover the floors. Let's do this. Let's clean off our trunk. It's taking the excess off. Now we're gonna get into the white Palladino base. Just the straight base, okay? There's no pigment, nothing in this whatsoever. We're gonna put it on our trowel. Get a little fluffy. Pop it here. Little bits of color here and there, okay? Just float it out. See how far a little goes? Nice and easy. Delicate. You don't want to blend. We want to create little highlights, color pockets. We don't want to erase it. We don't want to create a whole new color. But we're creating new colors, and as we do, look, we can take this into it. Float it out. What I mean is, put your color in, push it in various directions. Oh, I've got another idea. That was too fun. Happy accident. You're in control. That's why you make a sample. Go look. This is all hand applied. This is random. It's the beauty of it. Now, if we want, we can go back to our original base color. Bring a little bit of that color back in if you want. Just ever so slightly. See that? Remember, it's all going to dry a lot lighter. Fold. Just here and there. I'm not going to go all over this. Just want little hints of it. See that? Stand back, see what we have. All right. Now, while that's in this phase, whoa, what did I step on? Tripped over the drop cloth. All right, while it's here, we're gonna take this round brush, right? See this guy? Load it with some water. What the water does will prevent plaster from getting all gummed up in here. We can take it in our water bucket and dunk it, because on every job site, we always have a bucket full of water and scrubbing brush. Just go in here, which is never so soft. Look at the pitting. You need the water. Without the water, it's going to look totally different. So I'm going to pit it a little bit, various areas. So pretty. Not everywhere, okay? We're not, we want, the beauty is the randomness of this. I don't want to take away from someone's understanding what's happening, you know? See, look how much is not getting on my brush. That's what I want. I'm using the water to create a slip coat. So when the bristles hit it, it just pushes the material away. It doesn't pull the material off. See, if I go into certain areas, I'm not erasing my trowel marks. It's just right here. Can you see this? Let's see. One right here. Look here. See the trowel marks from when I kind of earlier one around? Down here, some. The corner, you just have to jam it into the corner. You have to work it in there and take your time. All right. So get some fun pitting happening. What else do we got here? I'll let this sit for a little bit. Clean our brush. Instant. Don't let that stuff get hard in there. Because you're not getting it out. It'll just destroy the brush. See, look. Clean. Okay, now what we're gonna do is let this sit for just a little bit. I want it to get firm, not dry. For the final step of this part of the process before we apply the sealant. So we're gonna come back in just a little bit. And I'll show you how to next part of this. See. All right, so the plasters had time to rest. What do I mean by that? Well, when you look at this, you don't see moisture laying on the surface, even though this is damp and there's moisture in it. You don't see the water on the surface. As it's drying, some of it pulls to the surface, a lot of it goes down. See the hair already back to the dry color. See the difference between wet and dry? Big time. But it's just a pinch too aggressive, meaning if somebody falls into this, they're going to lose some skin. We don't want that. You're going to feel it. So back to the water and back to this guy. Mist it lightly. Do you need a slip coat? What I mean, so when we saw the moisture just was gone from the surface, we know it's in a firm enough state that it's not going to go too far if I put pressure on it. But now I can come back ever so softly and knock down any high stuff. Various directions. Keep it random. See, but look, nothing except for that little tiny piece right there. So before I move on, clean. Just a little bit. Clean it off. Oh, I knew that one's coming. So when you're using this tool, what you want to do, because you're going to go, well, I can't do a whole wall from top to bottom in one pull. No, of course not. Start your movement, come into it, and come out of it. Do not plop it on and pull, because then you'll create a line. Oops, somewhat important. Yeah, we don't want any material getting caught on this blade. Not that it's a blade, but on this surface, because it will just create drags and it'll pull right through here. We'll have an unattractive effect. We don't want that. Good look from every direction, like that. Not good. So let's come back and get rid of you. A little pressure. That's it. Where something drug through the surface. All right. But we aren't finished just yet. We're gonna let this rest for a minute. Let this water do its thing so that what we just created kind of locks itself into place. I'll be right back after this. Okay, so she's dry. Now we could be like, yeah, this is okay. It's a little flat. Doesn't it's lacking something. So what I'm gonna do is take my spatula and a little bit of the white Palladino product, tint base right out of the can. We get little bits of it. Use my trowel for the hawk in this case. Now with these tools, sometimes you get a bend to them over time from use. So always pay attention if you're new to this, that your new tools may simply have a little bend. Put the bend away from the surface. And ever so slightly, I'm going to just take just a small amount of white. Just kind of come over it to start with small bits and pieces. Lay it almost flat. Watch this. We take this trowel, I'm sorry, the spatula, load the product on like so. All right. Like that. All right. See that? And we're gonna lay it almost flat. And it just drags bits and pieces of it off. That's all we're trying to do. We don't want a whole lot of much anywhere. We just want some fun little highlights. And if we decide, let's get some in here too. It's a big piece, but I'm not worried about it. All right, let's continue on. Now I'm also, if you notice, pulling it in different directions. I'm not just going down, down, or across. I'm kind of all over. I'm trying to hide the hand so you don't know how this got on there. That's all. Let's get a little more. This is the stage. Less is more. You can always add more, but it's really hard to take this off, especially we got this chunky thing happening all over this gnarly texture. Oh, there's a good chunk of it. Won't hurt anything. Remember, it's going to dry a little lighter. I'm going to come back and put some bigger patches of white or islands here and there anyway. I wanted to add a little bit first. Oh, big chunk of that away from me. Now I think I want to add some more bigger areas. By doing that, so trowel. So let's add in here a little bit more. Just lightly, just putting some on the edge of the trowel like so. All right. Catching it. Spread it down a little bit. And then once you get used to the feeling of the material on the trowel, for these little pieces like this, then you're going to start Feeling okay. Add a little more. And a little more. What other colors we have floating around here from yesterday? Hmm. I think we're okay. I don't think we need to add. We don't need to add any more, right? Oops. Let's blend these two colors, the base color and that gray together a little bit. See what we get. Oh man. See that? Just a little bit. Catch of that texture. Starts to bring it to life a little bit more. Oh man. A little more. I'm gonna dry lighter. I'm just gonna put a little bit. I don't want to get too wild with it. Just bits and pieces. Finished. Okay, we're gonna let this dry 100%. Come back, do a little cleanup, meaning we're gonna take a sanding block and just kind of lightly go over it, knocking off anything that's not like perfectly adhered. We get little crusties here from time to time, not crusties, but little pieces that just kind of aren't fully adhered. So we take the sanding block across it real quickly, knock them off, and then we're going to seal it. So I will see you in just a little bit. All right, so it's dry. We're just going to take the sanding block and just lightly go over it. Nothing. Just light. Then after that, you take your duster. If you're on the job site, just have your vacuum system, hopefully. Just make sure you don't get dust in the outs. Okay, so now the sealer, because there's so much texture happening here. And it's lime into your exterior. You can put it inside or outside. You can put it in your bathroom. You can put it anywhere, even your floors. You got to prep it right. You got to use the right kind of sealer. Now, with this much texture on here, wax, forget about it. You're going to use too much of it, it's going to look funny. Seven must say, no. I have this liquid sealer that you brush on. I use it a lot of times for Cadillac. Look how it changed. Now, let me explain something. It will not change the final color of the finish. All right? It will not change the final color. Right now, the moisture absorbs into the material and it's darkening it up. As it dries, it will go back down. 100% guaranteed. Just brush it on. Don't roll it because it just doesn't work right. It doesn't look nice. Plus, when you brush it, you're massaging it down into those little nooks and crannies. And that's the whole purpose. So now, no matter where we put this, any setting, it's protected. Do you need a second coat? Won't hurt. First coat's really good at absorbing into the material. And Second coat would definitely be a guaranteed added layer of protection. It has no sheen to it. It's a dead, flat sealer. Has no odor. And this is a permanent sealer, okay? Not like wax or Savon Marseille, meaning if you clean your surfaces with ammonia-based cleaners, you're not going to hurt it. It's not coming off. The other nice thing, if I want to add something over top of this after I seal it, because maybe I change my mind for whatever reason, I can. It's very wild how this works. Meaning there's no wax barrier preventing the next anything else you want to do to it from adhering to it. All right, so we're just going to keep putting it on. See it starting to dry back down. Let's finish it off. Let's hope we have enough in this little cup to finish it. Stuff goes a long way, probably about 600 to 700, so 650 square feet per gallon of sealer. Actually, it might even be more than that. The good thing is it didn't crack, meaning the Palladino plaster did not crack. Sometimes that happens, you put it on too thick, and here's why it didn't crack. After I finished, I would come back every so often with some water and just mist it, keep it hydrated. Just a little bit. And that's all it took. Somebody said, but you do that on a project? Yes, if you want this finish on a project, there's steps you have to do to make sure that the finish is replicated just like the original sample. And part of that is no cracks. Now, there's a couple. I'm not going to say no. There's a few cracks on here. We just had enough. See, it's starting to dry down a little bit. All right, I'm going to let this dry. We're going to come back and see what the final product looks like. See in a bit. So I'm going to take this pearlescent glaze that I have and a damp sponge and this sponge, this flat guy. All right, I'm gonna load it on, put some material on the plate. I'm gonna just do this, pull off my excess. I don't want a lot. I'm gonna ride the highlights. Ride the high spots for highlights. That's what I meant to say. I know what I wanted to say. All right, I'm not pressing on it. I'm just rubbing the top of it, like tickling the tops. Just going over the top. It sounds a little more aggressive than what it is. A little bit more product. I know somebody's going, well, you sealed it. I know, but the sealer will allow this to take place. Actually, it'll help. Let it go farther. I mean, it won't suck into the plaster. Just pearl glaze. So when you see it from different directions, the light will just kind of dance across the surface. It was just like missing something. Somebody's like, but why pearl on an old wall? Hey, why not? Just kind of massage it around in different directions. Because the pearl, it'll die down a little bit. It'll soften as it dries. See, it just gets caught in the high spots. Yes. Yeah, it just gives it a little poop, pop. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Now I have another bright idea. Great. It's gonna be perfect. All right. Let's let this sit for a minute. 'Cause there's another step involved. Okay, the pearl glaze is dried. I'm just laughing because I'm having fun now. So what I've done is I've mixed up another color of, I put some, so what pearl glaze is a base, and it's a transparent base. It just has pearl in it. So if you just put it on, it's transparent, translucent, but it just gives you little shimmers of pearl. So you can tint it. And if you take a little bit of black pigment and put it in there, you get a silver tone. Warm silver, almost like a pewter. And watch, we're just going to go over top a little bit. Uh-huh. Just needed something. It's just kind of like, I'm just going to let it ride over those high spots, okay? See what's happening? We're getting all kinds of depth. Reason you want to use a damp sponge, because you have the ability to, one, make correction to pull some off. But a damp sponge helps to dilute this just a little bit more. We don't want a lot. Circles, always in circles. That we can make a mistake, it will become an organic part of the piece. But we don't make mistakes. I need to come over here and see it from that angle. It's a little white lava right here. Yeah. We're good. I mean, this is good. We're good. That's different. I'm just kidding. I think that's it. However, I'm wrong again. Let's take some galaxy wax. Get love in this container. I'm just going to load it on here just a little bit. This is the violet. Yep. And you see how it just dances across the surface? Just to give it a little punch of interest. And the violet's going to push down some of that color I just made up, like that warm silver pewter look. Mm-hmm. Pretty. See, the damp sponge really helps because these products all dry really fast because they're metallic. So the damp sponge just gives you time to work it in. Pinch more. That's the end of that container. Now I'm happy. Okay. That's legitimately it. Look at it. You have little hints of the metallic, the violet dancing, the silver, the pearl. over top of all of that fun stuff. Super fun, super cool. Here you go. Accent piece for any wall in the house. That's it. A fun stone looking finish using Bernini's Palladino lime plaster. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as I possibly can. You can also reach me at the email located below in the description area, and you can find all the other information related to tools and the materials to recreate this finish just as you see it. My name is Ron Layman. I'm from the Faux School in Frederick, Maryland, where I teach decorative painting workshops and complete commission projects for clients all around the world. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.